All right, what's up, what's up, what's up? I'm back. It's your boy, Coach Byrd, back with another lesson for you today. And as you can see, today we're going to be talking about what is an integer. All right, what is an integer? And an integer, and I'm going to go ahead and give you the definition, it's a set of whole numbers from positive to negative infinity. That's the definition for an integer. It's a set of whole numbers from zero, from positive to negative infinity. All right, to positive or negative infinity. So if that's the definition of an integer, let's go ahead and identify what an integer is not, so we can clear up that misconception. An integer will not and will never be a decimal or fraction. Decimals or fractions are not integers, all right? Because we just stated that an integer is a set of whole numbers, and decimals and fractions are they're partial. They are not whole numbers. So what is an integer? A set of whole numbers from positive to negative infinity. So what does a set of integers look like? Well, a set of integers look like -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, dot, 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 close my bracket. All right. And the reason why I have this dot, dot, dot is because it goes on to, if you refer back to our definition, I said infinity. So the dot, dot, dot lets me know that it continues to go on. Well, how do I express this on a number line? Well, if I have my number line, it will look like this. 0, -1, -2, -3. I'm sorry, put a negative. 1, 2, 3. Now this number line goes on and on, but I don't have to write that because these arrows at the end of my number line let me know that it continues and it goes on and on. So integers are, some people like to break it down into positive and negative numbers, but -3.5 is also a negative number, but because it's a decimal, it's not an integer. So we're not going to use that definition. It's a set of whole numbers from positive and negative infinity, all the way down the number line. Now remember, this line and this arrow lets you know that it continues on. All right, so these are integers. And let's look at a number line. When you have your number line, of course, 0 is right here in the middle. All right, and the further you go left, the smaller your number gets. All right, but the further you go to the right of 0, the bigger your number gets on the number line. So the further you go left, the smaller your number gets, and the further you go right, the bigger your number gets. Okay, so if I have these set of integers, if I got -30, -3, 0, -4, not 0 again, I'm sorry, 5, 4. All right, if I want to order these integers, what I would do is I would compare it to my number line. All right, and remember, I'm ordering from least to greatest. I want to go from the smallest to the biggest. So the number that will be the furthest to the left will be my smaller number. So the number that I'm looking at on here that will be further left will be -4, because this will be -1, -2, -3, -4. Out of all of these numbers, -4 is furthest to the left. Then becomes -3, then 0, and then on this side I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 4, and then 5. Okay, so that's how we order integers. The further left you go, the smaller your number gets. The furthest to the right you go, the bigger your number gets. And remember, an integer is a set of whole numbers. Whole numbers. Whole numbers and their opposites. Integers are a set of whole numbers and their opposites, okay? So anything from 1 to infinity on the right side, and anything from -1 to infinity on the left side are integers. And 0 isn't also an integer. It's just neither negative, positive, or it's neither negative or positive. So let's remember that. An integer, let's recap before I end the video. An integer all right, is a whole number. It's a whole number from positive to negative infinity. All right? And you represent integers on a number line. Do not confuse an integer with a decimal or fraction. It is not a decimal or a fraction. All right, so an integer is a set of whole numbers from positive to negative infinity. You represent integers on the number line. Do not confuse it with a decimal or a fraction, because decimals and fractions are not whole numbers. They are actual parts of a number. So let's continue to do that. So that's the end of this video. Hopefully you got a better understanding of what an integer is. All right. So you have it there. Refer to this video, and I'll see you in the next video. It's your boy Coach Byrd signing off.